Good morning.
Hey, Thad.
All right. So you can hear me, Angela?
I can, and I believe most everybody else is muted at this point.
Okay, good.
Which is probably the way we want to keep it for now, and then we can take questions if necessary.
Sounds great. I know I sent you something to pop up on it.
Yep,
on the
I can
screen.
do that. I will share my screen.
All right. This morning, I just want to welcome everyone that's joined us on this Zoom cast. We've got Thaddeus Day here, the current president of the Maine State Bar Association, as well as Angela Armstrong, our current executive director. One of the things that inspired us to do this Zoom cast is that we were finding that there's a lot of stuff being published or posted on websites, but not a whole lot of interaction about it. And so we wanted to touch base with you and figure out what's working and what's not working. So regarding emergency orders, I plan to touch base briefly about what has been posted, what questions we've actually had about those emergency orders, and then take questions. State and federal government updates. Angela and I have a couple updates to give you that we know of, at least right now, and that's why we intend to do this Zoom cast daily at this time so that we can talk about updates as they come. Angela will also give you an overview of what support the MSBA is giving via our website, and field any questions too regarding that. And then I wanted to just touch base about some of the self-help things that I gleaned from my webinar on Thursday last week with the National Conference of Bar Presidents. So that being said, I wanted to talk about the status of orders. So I think I counted last night that the judiciary has issued 13 orders since March 13th, one of which was what do you call it, superseded. The first one was superseded by an order on March 18th. And the most common questions that we've been having relate to, I think, what was posted on March 17th, which is the emergency order effective March 17th that extends unexpired deadlines by 49 days. For those of you that don't know, Chief Softly actually spoke with our board on Tuesday last week. The 49 days resembles 7 weeks. So the idea is that 7 weeks would be added onto any unexpired deadlines. So one of the most common questions that the court has received and that that we've received too is, so what happens with filings that occur after the 17th? Like, one of the things that occurred to some people is that, hey, the statute of limitations hasn't been curbed yet, so there's probably going to be a need to file a complaint, for instance, or a need to file a motion. And Chief Softly indicated to us verbally on Tuesday last week that should you file a motion or a complaint after the 17th of March, then you actually add 49 days or 7 weeks onto every deadline that occurs because of that filing. Okay, I think that's one of the most important things to know versus all the questions that have been received. And then let's see, the other thing that you should know that we did as part of the Bar Association is we completed a letter that I signed that went to the governor's office requesting some change in what's required by Title IV for notarizing documents, as that appears to be one of the main issues in the realm of estate planning and real estate transactions that's been occurring. So what I wanted to just do is pass along the fact that we've made that request. We have not heard anything back that I know of so far. Okay, I think Angela's showing the letter that we forwarded to the governor. Angela, have we heard anything yet from the governor's office?
We have not. I mean, they received it. They indicated that they received it. I have reached back out to Elise Baldacci to see if there has been any movement on it, but I have not heard back.
Okay, so I just want to let you all know that that's one of the things we've been trying to do to get ahead of things at the MSBA. And let's see, next on the agenda, we had what's going on in government. One of the things I guess I should let you know is that I did have a discussion with Amy Quinlan this morning too. She's in charge of communications for the judicial branch, and she's indicated that they are putting together like sort of like a question and answer response that'll be posted on the judicial branch website related to all these questions that are coming in that we're forwarding to the judicial branch, as well as some that they receive outside of the MSBA. And they expect to have this compilation done and posted by the end of the week. So we're still facing some challenges through the week for those questions that we think are unanswered. Also on Tuesday, when Justice Softly spoke with the board, she also mentioned that her goal was to draft sort of like an omnibus type order that would supersede a lot of the orders that have already been posted to create maybe a little less confusion. Anything else that we want to say about state and federal government?
I'd like to bring up a couple of things. I mean, most of you have probably heard the order yesterday by Trump extending things until April 30th. As of right now, in the state of Maine, I believe it's still April 8th. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And if we obviously will update you daily if we hear anything different. I'm going to slip in here a quick update for the overseer, since that is more of a state agency. Just a reminder that CLE reporting deadline for this year has been extended to May 1st. The in-person requirement for the H&D, the harassment and discrimination credit, has been waived for this year. You still have to get the credit and it has to be live, but it doesn't have to be in person. And the live requirements are still in effect. And the MSBA has CLE programs available that count for live credit.
Okay, thank you, Angela. What else do we have on the agenda?
So the next thing is MSBA support. So I guess I can move.
I see you've got you had our web page up there.
Yep, right here. Oops, let me share it. Hold on.
And while Angela's doing that, I did want to mention that we will have a brief question section, but they're going to have to be very brief because we'll put this together in 15 seconds.
Okay, so the just real quick for those of you who haven't seen, this is the Maine State Bar Association website. First thing that you see when you come in is this banner. If you scroll down a little bit further on the page, we've got some quick important notices. You can click to the CLEs. You can click to the emergency orders issued by the judicial branch. You'll see that obviously we've got this daily Zoom update on here to join us. Coming up, which kind of falls into the self-help, is coping with the coronavirus, how to reduce stress and stay sane. It's a webinar. It's free to our members, and we sent out an email how you can register for that. But another place you can go for information is this banner. If you click on it here, oops, I guess it's thinking. We have a whole bunch of resources for you, and it talks about changes at bar headquarters. Right now, we are closed to the public through April 8th. I suspect that'll be extended. CLE information, any information we get on emergency orders or legislation. You can read the letter that Thad was talking about, hear about the emergency order, the request that we made. And
Angela, that might be all we have time to go over today, but I see that what we have here is a one-stop shop of emergency orders issued by the governor as well as our judiciary branch, right?
Correct. And some guidance for help with your business and stuff like that.
Right. So along with that, I wanted to just add that one of the most important things we can do is take care of ourselves. We need to sleep. You should be exercising. You should be eating right, and you definitely should be hydrating, and realize that your tempo of work during this period is going to be, in order to sustain it, is going to probably be a little slower paced. So keep that in mind as you're going forward. And it's important to maintain relationships. One of the great articles that came out in the Bar Journal that you recently received in the last couple of weeks was the Power of Gratitude article written by Bill Nugent. I myself, I'm going to start a gratitude journal in the evening. It helps with positive thoughts. He did notice there's been an uptick in anxiety among our bar membership. So it's important to reach out to friends, family, and share. Okay. So one of the things I want to let you know is I was watching Meet the Press on Sunday, and Dr. Burks on Meet the Press recommended this website put out by, I think, some health department at the University of Washington in Seattle. You can find it by Googling IHME, and they actually have a projection for the virus by state, and it indicates, which I thought was interesting, just maybe a gauge to use, that they're predicting the state of Maine to hit its peak in virus reporting on the 24th of April. So there might be an end in sight to all of this. And with that, as far as questions go, I wanted to let you know that you can email them to us, and we will address questions tomorrow at our next session at 11:15, other than what we've answered so far that have come forth. We are working on potentially doing a electronic signature to move documents along remotely, and also addressing a question that came up earlier regarding statute of limitations. So that being said, any alibis, Angela?
Nope, just email your questions to me at aarmstrong@mainebar.org.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.